What if I told you that one of James Bond's real-life inspirations wasn't a suave secret agent, but a bespectacled Scotsman? Meet Sir Alexander Richard Sandy Glen, a Scottish adventurer, Arctic explorer, spy, and war hero, whose extraordinary life and daring wartime exploits helped shape the legend of 007. From the rugged Scottish Highlands to the icy Arctic frontier and the perilous terrain of wartime Yugoslavia, his remarkable story is deeply intertwined with the essence of James Bond. The Real James Bond, Part 13. Alexander Richard Sandy Glen was born on April 18, 1912 in Glasgow to a wealthy Scottish family. His father, a successful shipowner, provided him with a privileged upbringing. Glen attended Fettes College in Edinburgh, the same school mentioned as Bond's alma mater, and later Balliol College at Oxford, where he studied geography. It was during his time at Oxford that his passion for adventure would flourish. Little did he know, accepting an invitation to a party would change his life forever. In 1932, Sandy accepted an invitation to what he thought was a debutante ball. But when he arrived, he realized there was no party, and the invitation he accepted was to sail with 7 others on a fishing boat to Spitsbergen, Norway. After 4,000 miles of sailing and 2 months of surveying mountains, Sandy became fascinated with the Arctic, returning to Spitsbergen the following year with friends Hugh Ligon and author Evelyn Waugh. From 1935 to 1936, Sandy led a full-scale Oxford University expedition to Northeast Land, backed by both the Royal Navy and the Royal Geographical Society. Glen's team established a station on the ice cap and conducted pioneering research in glaciology and geology. Their work on high-latitude radio wave propagation contributed to the development of radar. Glen's leadership earned him the Royal Geographical Society's Patron's Gold Medal, the Polar Medal, and the Bruce Medal of the Royal Society of Edinburgh. He later documented this expedition in his book Under the Pole Star. After Oxford, Sandy married Nina Nixon in 1936 and had a son. He worked in banking in New York and London until the outbreak of war, where he joined the Royal Naval Volunteer Reserve as a lieutenant. Sandy Glen began his wartime career as a meteorologist before being recruited into British Naval Intelligence, serving in the Special Operations Executive, or SOE, under Director of Naval Intelligence Admiral John Godfrey and working alongside Commander Ian Fleming. In January 1940, Glen was posted as Assistant Naval Attaché to the British Legation in Belgrade, Yugoslavia, modern-day Serbia. His mission was to persuade the Yugoslav government to join the Allies, but his work quickly expanded to include espionage and sabotage. Glen organized covert operations to disrupt German supply routes along the Danube, bribing pilots, smuggling arms, and sabotaging enemy ships, laying the groundwork for larger British sabotage campaigns. While in Belgrade, Glen shared a flat with future MP Julian Amery and lived an adventurous social life. It was during this time he met Baroness Zora de Colert, a Serbian aristocrat, who soon became his interpreter and companion. Despite the glamour, the situation in Yugoslavia grew increasingly dire. In March 1941, a coup replaced Prince Paul's pro-German government with a pro-Allied regime under the young King Peter, but German retaliation was swift. On April 6th, the Luftwaffe bombed Belgrade for 3 days, killing thousands. Sandy and the British legation staff, including Zora, fled through snow and ice-covered roads to the Adriatic coast, narrowly escaping capture. In a rare act of goodwill, Italian forces evacuated them to Rome, and they were later repatriated to Britain via Spain. Returning to Britain, Glen's Arctic expertise led to his next mission, evacuating Spitsbergen and destroy its coal mining facilities to prevent them from falling into German hands. This mission was crucial to protecting the Arctic convoy routes to Murmansk, a lifeline for Soviet forces. The mission succeeded, but in January 1942, reports of a potential German occupation prompted a return expedition. Glen joined a joint British-Norwegian force tasked with securing Spitsbergen. Despite initial reconnaissance indicating no German presence, the mission encountered fierce resistance. German bombers attacked and sank their ships during unloading, killing 17 men. Undeterred, Glen led the survivors in establishing a makeshift base, relying on salvaged supplies. His leadership ensured the island remained under Allied control, preventing the Germans from using it as a base to attack Arctic diplomatic convoys. In 1943, Glen was redeployed to Yugoslavia, joining the Maclean Mission, led by Brigadier General Fitzroy Maclean, another real-life inspiration for James Bond. Maclean's team, which also included Winston Churchill's son Randolph, was tasked with supporting Tito's partisans. In 1944, Glen parachuted into eastern Serbia to link up with Tito's forces and Marshal Tolbukin's advancing Soviet Third Ukrainian Front. Sandy worked closely with Tito's partisans, providing intelligence and coordinating operations against Axis forces. After spending several weeks with the Soviets, providing intelligence to help clear mines in the Danube, Sandy spent the remainder of the war serving on the British staff in Athens. For his extraordinary wartime service, Sandy Glen received multiple honors, including the Distinguished Service Cross twice, the second recognized with a bar. The Norwegian War Cross was named a Knight of St. Olav by the Norwegian government, and the Czechoslovak War Cross. After the war, Glen continued part-time with naval intelligence, retiring in 1959 as a captain. In 1945, he entered the business world, becoming a leader in British industry. He served as chief executive at Clarkson's Shipping, chaired the Export Council for Europe, and sat on the board of British European Airways. For his contributions, he was knighted in 1967. In 1968, Glen became the first chairman of the British Tourist Authority, transforming it into a global organization. On a personal level, Sandy married his wartime companion, Baroness Zora de Colert, in 1947, a marriage that lasted until her death in 2003. On March 6, 2004, Sir Alexander Richard Sandy Glen passed away at the age of 91, leaving behind a legacy of service, leadership, and adventure. Sir Alexander Richard Sandy Glen lived the kind of life that most people can only dream of. Daring Arctic explorations, high-stakes war missions, covert espionage operations, and becoming a titan of industry. He played a key role in shaping significant historical events and helped inspire the creation of one of the most iconic characters of all time, James Bond. Sandy Glen might not be as famous or look like James Bond, but as the saying goes, never judge a book by its cover. As always, don't forget to like and hit that subscribe button. Your support helps this channel grow, allowing us to bring you even more incredible stories. If you enjoyed this video, we release new episodes weekly, so click the bell icon so you never miss a future video. This is UnRecalled History. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.